In recent years, wild pigs in California have become a serious threat, with their numbers now exceeding 6 million, wreaking havoc on the land and natural forests. These creatures not only invade habitats, but also weaken the entire ecosystem. Now, we can no longer hesitate. Today's hunt will determine whether this land can be restored, whether we can protect a nature that has already endured too much damage. As the first rays of sunlight broke through the horizon, our hunting vehicle rolled into the barren lands of California. Equipped with specialized weapons, modern scopes, and all the necessary gear ready for action, we moved swiftly, surveying the terrain, and quickly selecting a vantage point with a wide view to set up an ambush. After a brief wait, the sound of rustling filled the air as the wild boar herd suddenly appeared. But in that moment, my eyes locked onto the largest, fattest boar. Without hesitation, I aimed, took a steady breath, and squeezed the trigger. After a resounding shot, the massive beast was no longer able to escape our control. But the celebration would have to wait. We quickly followed the trail of their escape. With my binoculars in hand, I spotted the beast trying to hide. Without a second thought, I fired the shot. The target dropped instantly, tumbling down the hillside. Yeah, success! A well-earned outcome for the quick and precise decision I made just moments before. In that moment, I realized that the greatest victory is overcoming oneself. That joy was doubled when, at the same moment, we received word from our teammates that they had also taken down another massive boar. Continuing to observe the herd above, Leon immediately signaled to me the position to block their path. Meanwhile, Leon was ready to close the trap, ensuring they had no escape route. As I reached the spot, I noticed an unusual sound and turned my gaze toward it. Sure enough, one by one, the boars began to appear. The shots rang out in quick succession, and several dropped right where they stood. "They're running down below," I signaled to Leon. Not long after, the deafening sound of gunfire erupted from the foot of the hill, as precise as a flawless report. The hunt was a success. In the heat of the battle, I failed to notice another target nearby. Luckily, Leon spotted it just in time and swiftly handled the situation. The decisive sound of the shot hit the mark, putting an end to the restless beast's life. Not only was it a rescue, but it also stood as a testament to our sharp awareness, reflexes, and reliable teamwork in the face of danger. After the thunderous gunshots, the wild boar herd seemed startled and began to rush off in a panic. From a distance, we could clearly see their frantic figures. We quickly set up strategic checkpoints to intercept their escape. When the target appeared, I didn't hesitate and squeezed the trigger immediately. The bullet flew true, taking down the beast. But I have to admit, their speed was too much. I couldn't react quickly enough to take down the others before they disappeared from sight. In stark contrast to the bustling atmosphere, the western side was thick with tension. After scanning the area, Leon spotted 7 solitary boars hiding all around the hillside. They had taken over every nook and cranny, leaving no empty space. With utmost caution, Leon moved forward, his eyes never leaving the target, each breath steady and controlled. A precise aim, the squeeze of the trigger. The bullet flew, and the beast dropped instantly. The sound of gunfire echoed from all directions, confirming the inevitable end of the wild boar herd in this place. When it comes to hunting, the skill of a hunter is the first and foremost essential, complemented by the supportive teammates, modern equipment, and a flawless plan. With these, we are able to achieve victory, and victory easily completing our mission for the local villagers and the land of this region. This time, I had the opportunity to visit a peaceful countryside in France, at the invitation of a close friend, a seasoned hunter who has been deeply connected to this land for many years. He told me that recently, the wild boars had become increasingly bold, openly destroying crops and causing unrest in the lives of the locals. In response to his invitation, my team and I quickly packed our gear and set off, determined to put an end to the looming threat. Join us now as we embark on our pursuit of these shadows in the wild. From early morning, the team began executing our hunting plan for the day. As the first rays of sunlight broke through, it was the perfect time for the wild boars to bask in the sun and forage for food. This was the golden moment for us to strike. Step by step, we carefully scanned the area, guns in hand, always ready for the perfect shot. And then, the familiar shape slowly came into focus through our sights. Perfect! The shot landed, piercing the leg of the beast. An indescribable feeling surged through me as I brought down the prey in this vast, desolate grassland. In the vast open grasslands, the wild boars that pass through will surely leave their marks behind. With a spirit of determination and weapons in hand, we followed the tracks imprinted in the earth. There it was. The pistol was fired decisively. One must never underestimate the hide of these creatures. It is thick and tough.
Get closer.
I had to fire several rounds before finally bringing it down. This was a testament to our unwavering resolve to protect this beautiful land of ours at all costs. The weather today seemed like it was welcoming me here. Lucas mentioned that just a few days ago, the weather had been gloomy, and he had even worried that we wouldn't be able to hunt today. There it is, Lucas reminded me, but we couldn't strike yet. We had to wait for the right angle for the shot. And then, as it had to happen, my finger tightened on the trigger. The bullet shot out as fast as lightning. Without a doubt, it hit its mark and lay motionless on the green grass. Before I could even lower my rifle to break for lunch, I suddenly caught the familiar, strong scent and the rustling noise coming from somewhere nearby. The binoculars quickly proved their worth. The prey was now clearly in sight. The moment had arrived. The shot rang out. This was the end for those who dared to boldly wreak havoc in this area. At the same time, in another spot, a group of boars were busy grazing, which surprised Lucas. But the prime target right in front of him reminded him not to forget his mission. Locking onto the target, his finger gently squeezed the trigger, and the bullet shot out. The rest managed to flee, but this one wasn't so lucky. Look at it. This one must weigh nearly 100 kilograms, if not more. It looks like tonight's bounty for the locals will be quite a heavy one. Today, I felt as though I had been granted a special blessing. Just as I was getting ready to pack up and head back with Lucas before the darkness took over, another shadow slipped into my sights. Without hesitation, the rifle was adjusted to the perfect angle for the shot. In an instant, the loud bang echoed across the fields, shattering the quiet stillness of the evening. Another victory was added to the tally of today's hunt.
Before the morning mist had even lifted, farmers in Arkansas stepped out into their fields only to be met with utter devastation. Rows of corn, just beginning to tassel, were torn up from the roots, marked by countless tracks and churned up earth that looked like a battlefield. Months of hard work were destroyed overnight by relentless wild boars. They tried everything: electric fences, snares, even night watches. But against the stubborn and destructive herd, all efforts seemed hopeless. When patience ran thin and despair peaked, that's why we showed up. We came not just to hunt, but to restore order, to bring peace back to the fields and ease the worry etched into the eyes of the people here. At dawn, after carefully studying the terrain maps to chart every path and ambush point, we quietly split up to carry out our plan. Bob was assigned to hold the hillside position, blending into the green grass. He pressed himself low to the ground, making not a single sound. Through his scope, the target came into sharp focus, completely unaware that death was closing in. Bob's index finger rested lightly on the trigger, and a sharp crack echoed, dropping the beast instantly as it tumbled down the slope. Perfect opening shot. What do you think? Riding the momentum from our opening victory, we moved up the high hillside, a strategic position overlooking the entire area below. We knew the prey would soon reveal itself. Then, a dark shape slipped through the trees, unable to escape my watchful eye. One single bullet rang out, ending the destructive beast's journey. No words spoken, no unnecessary movement. This was seamless teamwork forged through hundreds of hunts together. One less menace, and this land grows a little more peaceful. Not far away, along the red clay hillside, from our ambush position, we didn't need to move. Our strategy was clear. The hunting dog's job was to drive the herd straight into the trap when it's set. And just as planned, the panicked boars charged right into the kill zone, where gunshots rang out to finish the job. The rest scattered, unaware that ahead of us were our checkpoints. The flawless coordination between the dogs and our team made the hunt much easier to conclude. Following muddy tracks on a tree trunk, John made his way to a meadow about 10 meters away. The target was now in sight, but a rookie might rush the shot right then and there. John did not. He let the boar walk calmly into the perfect line of fire. Because in hunting, patience is the sharpest weapon, and the final shot is simply the full stop on a perfectly timed wait. Do you recognize that experience often means a better chance at victory? And with that, this land edges a little closer to peace. As the chill of the late afternoon crept in, the team reported spotting the target in the southern thicket. Finn's group quickly closed the circle. In the GPS group, he knew the prey was close. The moment it burst out of the brush, Finn's bullet ended the game. In that blink of an eye, there was no room for hesitation. Only skill and reflexes honed into pure instinct. What score would you give this shot, brothers? Just when I thought the day's hunt was coming to an end, a low, muffled boom echoed, granting it release. Stunned by the shot, it staggered back toward me. Each heavy step a silent apology for the destruction it had wreaked on the village. I never thought I'd see the day I'd have to pick up a gun and hunt wild boars. Until now, that had always been the job of professional hunters. As for me, I just wanted a peaceful life, plant some corn, raise a few goats. But then the boars came and tore through the fields right before harvest. Every night, we'd hear them digging, ramming fences, wrecking everything. I couldn't take it anymore. None of us could just stand by. Here in San Marcos, everyone now sees wild boars as public enemy number one. So we decided to organize a hunt to settle the score. After a night of tearing through the fields, the boars usually retreat into the forest to rest. So we head into the woods early, gun gripped tightly in one hand, the other pushing branches aside, and try to stay close to the sound of the barking dogs. Honestly, this whole thing is still pretty new to me, so every step is cautious. I can't afford to be careless. Suddenly, one of the dogs flushes a boar out of the bushes. No time to think, I raise the gun and pull the trigger. The first shot was rushed, the boar turned and ran. With the hunting dog right on its heels, it quickly tired out. That was all I needed. I fired again and claimed my first trophy. A few hundred meters later, I ran into Ashley, my teammate, at a gentle slope. Ashley pointed to the right. I looked over and was shocked to see a massive wild boar lying nearby. Before I could react, the boar suddenly leapt up and charged straight at Ashley. I only had time to shout, "Watch out," before firing repeatedly. Everything happened in a split second, but luckily, the gunshots scared it off. Ashley and I watched the direction the boar fled, our hearts pounding like they'd burst out of our chests. I was way too close. That thing must have weighed at least 120 kilograms. A single charge could have seriously injured, even killed a grown man. Still shaken from that encounter, Ashley and I soon came across another boar, just as big. We had to be more careful this time. We split up and took positions on either side, guns aimed forward. The moment the boar dashed between us, the air exploded with sharp, rapid gunfire. It should have been the perfect moment to take down another destroyer, but it all happened too fast. The boar, running it up to 40 kilometers h, managed to dart down the slope and disappear. Even so, Ashley and I didn't give up. We kept sweeping the area. Soon, we heard barking from the northwest. No words were needed. We both knew what that meant. After being charged by one boar and missing another, Ashley was fired up with rage. He rushed forward and with a single, clean shot, brought down the beast hiding in the dense brush. By mid-afternoon, the hunting dogs were still going strong. I have to say, I was incredibly proud of these buddies. Not only were they great at sniffing out wild boars, they also wore them out chasing them down. My job now was to finish the job. Bang! Another pest fell. A smooth, satisfying win. I don't know if it was luck or not, but even though we only ran into solitary boars today, each one was huge, fat, and round. Just look at this one. It's got to be at least 100 kilograms. Looks like it had been chased so hard by the dogs, it had no strength left, not even enough to be wary of our guns. This one was easy. I aimed right behind its head and pulled the trigger without hesitation. It dropped on the spot. At another plot of land, Ashley and I continued to spot wild boars. This time, we silently split up and took our ambush positions. I gripped my gun tightly, eyes locked on the bushes ahead. I couldn't wait any longer. I fired a shot to lure the prey out. It took the bait, and there could only be one outcome, taking a bullet and collapsing beside bushes. Wild boars are powerful creatures of the wilderness, fiercely aggressive, incredibly resilient, and remarkably adaptable to harsh environments. An adult can weigh between 100 and 150 kilograms, and some males even surpass 200 kilograms, armed with razor-sharp tusks, deadly weapons when they strike back. This danger turns every hunt into a high-stakes challenge. And today, I head out once more, ready to face off in the wild mountain forests. The mountain in Buznica, about 8 kilometers from Enoch's home, was chosen as the first ideal hunting location. Upon arrival, everyone quickly returned to their assigned positions. I carefully checked all my equipment and patiently waited for the prey to appear. There it is. Shouts began echoing from various spots. Seeing the boar charging in my direction, I swiftly raised my rifle, aimed, and pulled the trigger. It wasn't a large one, but it was incredibly fast. I fired several shots, all missing. Just as it was about to disappear into the brush, one final shot landed, bringing it down instantly. The hunt had only just begun, and already the tension was suffocating. It seemed today would be a real challenge for the entire team. The sun grew harsher by the minute to conserve our strength under the scorching heat. We decided to bring the hunting dogs and continue the search. Exactly 15 minutes later, the dogs began barking, a promising sign that prey was nearby. We scanned the surroundings with full focus. Just as expected, the boar suddenly burst out. I didn't hesitate, firing off a rapid burst of shots. The bullets hit their mark. Wounded and dazed, the boar collapsed shortly after. Following a narrow trail up the mountain, we suddenly heard a strange noise coming from the bushes off to the side. I immediately signaled the team to stop and cautiously raise my rifle. Shoot! Now, the others shouted. I fired. With one clean, fatal shot, the bullet struck directly and the boar dropped instantly. My God, I never imagined I could pull off such a perfect shot. To avoid alerting the boars, we had to position ourselves downwind. But the scorching heat of the mountains drenched everyone in sweat, making the hunt more grueling and intense than ever. There's one. Enoch called out after spotting the boar. He quickly moved to intercept it along the trail. Tension grew with every second. When the gunshot rang out, the boar stumbled immediately. That hit was critical. It wouldn't get far now. While tracking the boar separately from the group, I suddenly heard the sound of barking grow louder. I instinctively raised my rifle, and boom. The boar charged out, catching me off guard. But luckily, my quick reflexes helped me bring it down cleanly. Now it lay motionless on the ground. The dramatic chase finally over. As soon as I spotted the prey, I didn't hesitate. I fired immediately. Everything went smoothly, and after that, we bagged several valuable trophies for today's hunt. After a long and exhausting morning, the group had achieved solid results. But with such a dense wild boar population in this area, it's clear we'll be returning for more cleanup hunts soon. Today began like any other, until an alarm suddenly pierced the quiet. Without hesitation, Nick and his team sprang into action, instinctively gearing up and rushing toward the fields. No words were spoken, only tense eyes met and swift footsteps advanced toward the hotspot. Before them lay only traces, footprints etched into every inch of soil, marks left on the crops. Would they succeed in hunting down this destructive force? Stay tuned. What follows is a relentless battle about to unfold. Early morning, before the sun even dared to rise, the world across the Italian wetlands felt frozen in silence, utterly still. Only the soft, careful footsteps broke the hush, each step cautiously following the faint traces left behind. After 15 minutes of relentless tracking, a sharp crack of gunfire marked the fierce beginning of today's battle. The wild boar fought desperately to escape, but Nick's swift grip sealed its fate. The first prize of the hunt was swiftly secured in his hands. They pressed on toward the edge of the field, an obvious path the wild boars would take. While scanning the thicket across from him, a dark shape suddenly burst forth, charging into the field, ready to wreak havoc. But today, Nick was there. A gunshot rang out instantly, and in the blink of an eye, the beast was down. Another threat neutralized under the steady aim of a seasoned hunter. Before he could even reach to check, a familiar sound echoed from deep within the field. Just a few hundred meters away, without hesitation, he sprinted toward it, each step urgent, but his sharp eyes scanning every corner with a relentless focus. As he came to a halt and raised his gun to take aim, a wild boar stepped right into his sights. The cold crack of the shot rang out. The bullet found its mark, and the beast, powerless, collapsed on his right. While Nick was locked in intense battle, in another corner, James quickly spotted his target. His eyes swept over an open patch just in time to catch a wild boar charging wildly, as if fleeing from some unseen terror. Not giving it a chance to escape, James squeezed the trigger instantly. The beast tumbled down onto the dry grass. With that, a fresh wave of attack on this field. The journey wasn't over yet. The team quickly moved toward Nick's family orchard. Upon arrival, not a sound was heard as they silently took their positions, slipping into hiding spots. The hunters readied their guns, poised and waiting. 20 minutes under the blazing sun tested their patience to the limit. Then, the moment finally came for Nick. With the power of a single bullet, he cut off every escape route for the beast. What do you think of this shot? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. The hunters pressed on, step by step, even as the rain began to fall. Yet neither Nick nor his team showed any sign of slowing down. Focus sharpened to its peak, as their vision grew blurred by the downpour. Suddenly, a wild boar darted across their path, but it couldn't escape Nick's keen gaze. A precise shot rang out, striking the beast dead on. A flawless move, halting razor-sharp tusks that threatened to ravage the